Hey everyone, welcome to the Crazy Desert Knitting channel. This channel focuses on knitting, crocheting, and other yarn related topics. I am Mel, the Crazy Desert Knitter, welcoming you from the sunny city of Phoenix, Arizona. If you are a new viewer, welcome one and all. I am so excited you guys have decided to join me here today. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and seeing me again. I am really excited and grateful for you as well. It has been approximately 2 months since I have podcasted, vlogged, whatever we call this, which it could be a rough one. So sorry about that in advance. Yeah, we'll see. So quick agenda for today, what am I wearing knit-wise? A little bit of a life update, some finished projects, and my current whip. That would be helpful if you guys want to know what that is. And then possibly what I'm going to be knitting next, or what's next on my list, I guess is the way I want to say it. So grab your knitting or your crochet or your other fun creative project that you guys use as your outlet, which I am so super excited for. And a drink, and come on and visit me. Hopefully this won't be too long of an episode. So let's go ahead and get right into what am I wearing knit-wise. I am wearing no knitted wear. You guys will understand when I get into the end of my life update, so please bear with me. But yeah, I'm not wearing anything knitwear oriented today, and that's just, yeah, you'll understand in about a few minutes. So there's that. So let's go ahead and move straight into my life update. I've been asked for these a few times. If you guys are not interested, skip ahead about 2 minutes or so, I'm gonna guess. Give or take a little bit. All right, so on to my life update. There were several comments and so graciously given your condolences for my loss of my beloved JD, who is my dog, last episode. Thank you guys so much. That was extremely sweet. There were 2 questions that I can answer for you guys that people left. The first was, did I know that JD was sick? No, I did not know JD was sick. He was acting completely normal. He was running and jumping and playing and eating and drinking and sleeping and, doing all the normal stuff that he did at his normal amount of each one of those things, I guess is the word. Like, he didn't eat way more or way less, or drink way more or way less, that kind of stuff. He was just as affectionate and just as happy as ever. So I got very lucky in that he didn't suffer. So there was that. So, and the other question I received was, am I doing something to memorialize JD because he meant so much to me? I do have something in the works, but I don't know what the end result of that will be. So I don't know. In the end, yes, there will be something. As to what it is exactly at this moment, I don't know. I very much I remember him daily and still think about him. So there's that, and all the joy and love that he brought. So again, thank you guys so much for all your kind words that you sent me here and on Ravelry. Oh man, I should have mentioned, if you guys are looking for any show notes or anything like that, go ahead and check out the description box below. Everything's going to be down there, including how you can contact me at Ravelry or leave a comment here if you guys have any questions. I will attempt to answer them on a regular basis. Yeah, I'll just go with I'll attempt. There we go. All right, so what has been going on in my life since like January? I have been working a lot. And I do mean a lot. This is my busiest time of year. It doesn't really, I can't even say that. My year looks to be basically this busy all year. So I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I've just been working a ton. And by working a ton, it hasn't left me a lot of time to do other things like podcast or vlog or whatever this is. And everybody in my house is still home all the time. I will say half my house is vaccinated. So way to go for that. Yeah, so that was fun. So working a lot of hours, a lot of different jobs. So it's taken away some of that knitting time. I'm actually really impressed. I kind of carved this time out for myself today. I got a little lucky. And so there's that. So again, extremely blessed and grateful that I have a dog dog. I have a job. I'm gonna start that over again. I'm extremely grateful I have a job. So not complaining, which is awesome. So yeah, we're all, plugging along here. So the last thing I have for an update today is I actually, when I say recently, I mean 2 days ago, wound up getting a new dog. A coworker of mine knew of some puppies that needed a good home. And so I took one of those puppies. You guys can't see him like you would have if it was like jumping around 5 minutes from now. But he's actually laying back here. There's like a pillow on the ground back here. I'll go like this. A pillow on the ground back here. He's like sleeping down there. Yeah, he's completely passed out. Yeah, he's just snoring away back here. He is young, and we go for all the puppy shots and all that kind of stuff, and then we start puppy training. So that's going to be fun and a long process. Yeah, it's going to be a long process. I might bring you guys along on part of that journey, at least, some of the stuff. I want to make sure my dog is well socialized, not just with other dogs, but with other people as well. So I want to, take him places with me and do things with him, kind of like I did with JD. So I don't know if he has a name yet. We're still working on the name in the house. So bear with me on that one. So that kind of also explains why I'm not wearing any knitwear. Puppies have sharp puppy teeth. And sharp puppy teeth can, puncture things. But I took this opportunity because even though we are working on small things today with him, he's taking a nap right now. So, yeah. But again, very grateful to my coworker as well, who knew I was looking for a dog and knew I was going to give a dog a great home. So, okay. So, third time's the charm for finished projects. I tried before, but the way the sun was coming through the windows behind me, it made everything look really, really white. So we're going to keep giving this a go. So I finished my lounging top by Joji Locatelli. I have no idea what you guys are actually seeing. It is not nearly that see-through, to be honest with you. But again, it's the way the light is coming through the windows. This is dense enough fabric that I can actually wear it without something under it. It is great. I did the sport weight version of the lounging top by Joji Locatelli. There is also a fingering weight version, which I would really love to try. I knit the third largest size. It is supposed to have a little bit of positive ease into it. I think my yarn may have been, like, when I did my gauge, it was perfect. By the time I got done and it got blocked, it grew just a little bit. So I think next time if I did this again out of this yarn, which I totally would, saying that, number one, I would totally use the exact same yarn, which I'll tell you about in a second, to knit this garment again. I may actually go down and do the second size, or the second large, or the 2X instead of the 3X. I think it goes up to like a 4 or 5 XL. So a wide range of sizes, which is awesome, and really, really great. So one of my favorite things about this entire top is that down the center seam underneath the arm, yep, there we go. Oh, wait. You guys can see that garter stitch panel right here. Isn't that cool? Like, that's a detail. And on the arms, you've got some garter stitch. Also over here. Again, don't know if I've said this round, but I've worn it several times. I finished it in February. I've worn it 3-4 times since then already, which has been great. If I so choose, I can wear something under it, or I could wear something, or I don't have to. It is a dense enough fabric when it's, you know, when I wear it, that I don't see, like, you guys can kind of see all the light coming through that right now. That doesn't happen really, just because it's super bright outside. But yeah. So again, I can wear it directly against the skin if I wanted to or not. I typically like to throw like a camisole or something on, or just like a tank top on underneath this. I did not knit mine out of superwash merino, which is what the original pattern called for. What did I knit mine out of? I knit mine out of Holst Supersoft held double. So this is Holst Supersoft. In the colorway, I'm going to so mess this up. I'm so sorry. Sloe, S-L-O-E. I do apologize. I don't speak the language. So, but it's this lovely purple black color. You guys, I don't know if you guys can actually see the black flecks in there, but yeah, you got lighter flecks of purple and darker flecks, and it's beautiful. I bought the cone. So I think I told you guys last time I did an order to Holst Garn directly, and I actually had it shipped here to the United States. Myself and somebody else, we just went ahead and we ordered a couple of what we wanted, and then we had it shipped here because they came in cones. Holst Supersoft and Holst Garn, or Holst Garn Supersoft and Holst Garn Coast, which is a wool cotton blend, which, by the way, feels divine. Side note, they come in cones. I think there's another 1 or 2 that come in cones as well, instead of just the 50-gram cakes. So you can get a cake or you can get a cone. The cone was an amazing deal. And I knew I was going to need, you know, X number of yardage to do my size, which was the 3XL size. Or at least that's what I thought I was going to make, based on the measurements and how I know my measurements. So by the time I did the math and I, was like, hey, make sure I've got just a smidge extra in case I needed it, it was cheaper to buy the cone and have some left over than it was to buy enough 50-gram cakes. And they do come in cakes, center pole cakes, which was really cool. By the way, just tossing that out there. So yeah, so I bought the cone. I honestly thought I was going to use a little bit more of the cone than I did because I was holding it double to get the sport weight. Naturally, I would put this at a lighter fingering weight yarn. I don't know if you guys can. There you go. So it's a lighter fingering weight yarn to begin with. So if I held it double, I knew I was not getting worsted. Definitely was not getting worsted. I got DK. And I came pretty close to the yardage per grams that were called for in the pattern, amazingly enough. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, it worked. I love it. Again, super excited about this. Would totally make this top again. I'm actually looking forward to making the fingering version of this top as well. So again, super excited. So that is one finished project. But yeah, so there we go. Now I did one other thing, major thing. I've done some hats and scarf, I've done some hats. I've done like a washcloth or something. But this is the other big project I had. So I did another, okay, with all the light behind me, this is really hard to see. Look at that color. Another Frision shawl by, I forgot. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Woo! If I didn't say this before, I'm going to say it again. If you guys are looking for any show notes, names of patterns or yarns or anything that I can think of, or how to contact me and my Ravelry and all that stuff, go ahead and check out that description box below. That's where it's going to be. I'm actually going to hold it up against my shirt because you can actually see it much better. So I did Frision. I made another Frision shawl, and I was actually really surprised that I made another shawl because I don't really wear a whole bunch of shawls. And the shawls I do wear are more like scarves. This is not blocked, so please be aware this is not blocked. I'll show it again once it is blocked because it pulls the pattern. It is so beautiful. This, I think, is the third or fourth Frision shawl that I have made. So, and I made it out of Tencel yarn in Orchid. Orchid is the colorway. Two out of the three have been in this yarn. It is divine, just saying. It is knit at quite a loose gauge. So that's kind of nice. It's nice and long, like you guys, it's longer than my wingspan by about 1.5 feet. So it's got good drape, good, so this is not the yarn called for in the pattern. This was actually a shop sample that I saw at my local knitting store. And it was what she made it out of. The proprietress, owner, there we go, of my local knitting store. She made it out of this Tencel yarn and it turned out beautiful. So I decided to make it out of the same thing. So there's that. All right, so those are my two major finished projects. I finished like a hat here or there. I think I finished a baby hat, a washcloth, and a couple of adult hats or something. But for the most part, these were my two major finished objects. Okay, I'm gonna grab my whip and... Okay, so I am back with my current work in progress, which apparently I am halfway through a row with. I don't want to bear with me. I will quickly knit it and finish knitting it, and then I will be right back. So actually, while I am finishing knitting this row real quick, as you guys can see, I thought I would actually maybe pop in here and just, give a quick update concerning the channel. I recently, as we've noticed, I cannot apparently podcast on a regular basis because podcasts are typically much longer, and they don't always cover what I want to record about my yarn experience and my creative experience for myself. So I've considered again continuing with the podcasts kind of as they are now. But when I get, when I can, because it has to fit into my schedule, but then also considering, just popping in and doing a couple of quick, like vlog style stuff. So for example, recording for myself, and if anybody else really wants to know, some of those really great patterns that I found, that I would knit for men, or some of my favorite hat patterns, or, really record what I've learned about myself and my knitting, and the yarn choice I like to make, and why I like to make that choice, and possibly what I like to make with that yarn. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not great about updating my project page on Ravelry. So kind of a problem. So the podcast and this channel is kind of a way for me to record that and keep a record of that kind of stuff for myself. Along that same lines, I'm really bad about keeping track of what are my favorite yarns to use and what have I found out that I really enjoy knitting versus don't enjoy knitting, or crocheting. What do I enjoy crocheting versus what do I not enjoy crocheting? Types of fibers that I really like to use and what I don't like to use. What I like to use specific types of fibers for. Things like that. I mean, and me personally, again, I have these thoughts in very small bursts. So like 5 minutes at a time. So I thought about kind of, recording them and posting them here just for myself, for most part, is just to record what I've learned and what I like and what I don't like, and then maybe update. I don't know. We'll see. Just something to think about. They might be coming up. They'll probably be a little shorter than my true episodes. So just to let you know, that's probably maybe on the horizon. I don't know. Okay, so I have gotten down to the end of the row, as I promised. So this here, I'm gonna hold it up against myself. There you go. Again, with the light coming through the background, it's really hard to see. I'm gonna show you guys the detail here. This is a baby blanket, or at least it should be a baby blanket. It's a baby blanket called Malt by TinCanKnits. I am making it out of I actually have a couple more skeins in here. Cascade Yarns Ultra Pima 100% Pima cotton. This is made in Peru. They are 100 gram balls, 3.5 ounces, approximately 220 yards. They recommend a US 5 or 6, which is a 3.75 to 4 millimeter needle. I do not know what the colorway is. Nope. Sorry, I have no idea what this colorway is. It's beautiful. Color 3724. Sorry, I finally found the color. Colorway 3724. I will tell you, I have no idea if they still make this. The reason why I say that is A, it's been in my stash for about 2 to 2.5 years. And B, wow, that like the sun kept going, like the sun went behind a cloud and then came back out, and now you can see the light behind me just change. It was really weird. And B, I inherited this yarn from somebody else. So somebody else was getting rid of it, caked it up, got rid of it, decided they didn't want to use it for the project that they had in mind. And said, hey, do you want it? And I was like, hey, sure, it's cotton, it's nice. It's definitely more of a DK weight, and the Malt pattern by TinCanKnits, which is free on Ravelry. By the way, it's part of their Learning to Knit series, which is a really great series. If you guys are learning to knit, this is a fantastic beginner pattern. It's fantastic. You just need to know to knit, how to purl, cast on, bind off, you're done, that's it. So it's just beautiful. And there's a little, again, I'm going to use myself as the backdrop here. There is this little offset square of garter, which is really cool. It's really simple. Now, I will tell you, the pattern calls for a worsted weight yarn. If anybody is doing math, this is definitely more of a DK weight yarn. But it's what I had in my stash. So I knit really tight. The pattern calls for a US 8 needle or a 5 millimeter, US 8 or 5 millimeter needle. I typically knit tight, so I go up a minimum 1 needle size, always. It is standard across the board for me. Doesn't matter the pattern, it doesn't matter if, whatever it is, I always have to go up a needle size. So knowing that, the pattern called for a US 8, but I'm using DK weight yarn. I did not go up to a US 9. I left it at a US 8 or a 5mm needle. Now it definitely, this is not the densest of fabrics in the whole wide world. You know, I can hold this up. You guys can kind of sort of see through it a little bit. But when I lay, you know, when I put anything behind it, it's not as see-through. It's actually really, it's a nice fabric, especially for here in the valley. It gets really hot in the summer, and for a lot of babies, just full blankets are just too hot. So I made this one in cotton. Part of the reason why I made it out of this yarn and not an actual worsted weight yarn, I had it in my stash. I chose this pattern because, you know, yesterday or the day before, I was looking for something easy to knit. I would love to start another cardigan by Joji Locatelli, and I actually have the yarn skeined up, but I need to make sure my math is correct before I started it. And I needed a project because I finished my baby hat the night before, and this was, you know, I'm out of things in my baby stash of gifts, my gifting baby stash. So yeah, I'm out of things in my gifting baby stash. So I decided to go ahead and do, and you know, I could do this, and it's a very simple pattern. It doesn't make me think too hard, which is really nice. So highly recommend it. It's a great pattern. Go check it out. TinCanKnits, Malt, fantastic. Worsted weight yarns would be great. I'm not sure if you guys were doing a DK weight and you wanted it to be a little bit warmer, I would go down at least one more needle size. For me, I did go down one. Maybe I would go down 2 and add more stitches. But that does require more yarn, so keep that in mind. Okay. So that's all I have to say about this. Hopefully I am through one skein, or I'm at the end of the first skein. I'm about 10 inches in. I'll hold the whole thing up here. I'm about 10 inches in because the bottom ribbing's 2 inches and I can flip it, you know, in total I roll it 5 times. So I'm about 10 inches in and it's gonna be fun. So looking forward to finishing that off and just having something else in my stash to use, which is nice. So the last thing we can talk about today would be what's up next project-wise once I finish my Malt baby Afghan, or baby blanket, I guess is the word. I was searching through and I was watching like another podcaster the other day, trying to go to sleep. And I can't even remember which podcaster it was. If I remember, I'll actually link it down below or I'll put it on the screen somewhere. I don't remember who it is. But they made a pair of London Bee Ridge socks. And I saw it and I thought they were really cool. As socks go, I found I really like my hand knitted socks. It got a little cold. When I say a little cold, it's chilly. I won't say cold. It got chilly. The end of February and beginning of March. We don't know why, but we kind of went through a cold snap. And I found a pair of knitted socks in my drawer that I knit like 3 or 4 years ago. 3 years ago. Only 3 years ago. I put them on and I'm like, wow, I really like these. So then I went hunting up a couple of other pairs of socks. It's fantastic when you realize you cannot find all your socks. Like, you know, you knit a pair of Rose City. That was me. I could not find a pair of Rose City rollers. I did eventually find my socks, so they're no longer missing, but I didn't find them. So, and I really enjoyed wearing those as well. So I thought, hey, why not go through my stash and find some sock yarn and knit these London Bee Ridge socks. I struggled finding a sock yarn in my stash. I struggled finding fingering weight yarn in my stash. There are a few fingering weight yarns in my stash. Don't get me wrong, there are a few. The ones I could find were single ply, 100% wool, no nylon. And I found that for me, in the few pairs of socks that I've knit, I enjoy a little bit of nylon in my socks. And because I'm very harsh on my socks, I definitely need 2 plies or more. So a single ply yarn to do socks, for me, not really an option. I know for some other people that could be an option, or like 100% wool sock for you guys are an option. I'm not saying you can't do that. It's just not really my preferred way. But I eventually ran across this skein of Plucky Knitter. PluckyKnitter.com yarn. Let me start this over. Yarn from the Plucky Knitter. Woo! I got that right. And this is an 80-20 merino nylon blend. It's approximately 420 yards. The colorway is Cinza Zaccardi. Not even sure I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm not. Cinza, C-I-N-Z-I-A. Zaccardi. Inspiration, Sophia Loren in Houseboat. So again, it was a fingering weight yarn, had an 80-20 merino nylon blend. I gotta be honest, it's a great skein of yarn. It's a great navy yarn that I inherited, or somebody gave me, or they were getting rid of and I grabbed it. I don't remember. I can honestly say I've never used it before and kind of surprised to find it in my stash. So I went ahead and I skeined it up on my ball winder. I have a Stanwood ball winder. Very pleased with my Stanwood ball winder. So I'm thinking about this going to be my next project. So until I can get my cardigan up and running, just because, again, I've actually got to sit down, do the math, and say, okay, what size, what do I need my swatch to come out to in order to make it work? And if my swatch doesn't work, find a different pattern for the yarn. So that's the plan. Alrighty. So that is everything for today. We went through a little bit of a life update. And my really fun news, got a new puppy, yay. Hopefully I can tell you guys what his name is next time. We went through finished projects, my current whip, with a small timeout for me to talk to you guys about what I'm considering concerning a vlog. And then you saw my current whip, and then what's next up on my needles. Or what I hope to be next up on my needles. So until next time, thank you guys so much for visiting me. I'm super excited. Again, if you need anything, any names of patterns or yarns or anything else I think you guys need to know, it'll be in the description box below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. So excited. If you guys want to see more videos like this, please click the subscribe button. I would appreciate that as well. So until next time, this is Mel, the Crazy Desert Knitter, saying just keep knitting. Bye, guys.